Hello, I'm late for a very important date. I am DC, and tonight we are talking about Make Wellness, and we pivoted to specifically focus on one of their top new reps, the top of a new rep at their triangular prism schmeem, and we love it. So her name is Ashton, I think. We discovered her on a squirrel trail. We were going to talk about Make Wellness generically, and then we looked at a Zoom, not a Zoom, but like a training they did, or like a, oh my God, this girl just did $2 million with her team. And then it was a little bit boring, so we started looking at this $2 million top cult leader, independent contractor. And the squirrel trail started squirreling. And let me put the chat on screen because I don't know what I'm doing with my life. And Kat, our research wrangler, and I Kat mostly, the murder board is murdering. Mortaring. I may need to text my mom to stop the vacuum downstairs because, oh my God. Hello, hello, hello. Everyone's off schedule because, please hold. Mm-hmm. Hello, I love you very much, but could you stop the vacuum downstairs because I'm streaming and I think that it's knocking over a bunch of things and I can't go downstairs to stop it. I do anti-MLM content on my channel, and normally I'm in my treehouse, but I am streaming from our chronic pain corner, which is my bed right now because we don't have a corner set up yet. And that is my little piranha plant. So we're working on it. The quilts are here. They're just not set up yet. So I hope you grab a craft. Oh, what are we doing tonight? Make Wellness. We're only doing a 6-minute, like, who is Ashton? And then we have pivoted to her purity culture podcast that she did because she targets people in the weight loss space because she's mentored by a registered dietitian, which I think means that she is friends with a registered dietitian and Make Wellness. Maybe not. I don't know. And she also helps her kids put on muscle and then uses her boys' pictures on Facebook to promote her Make Wellness business. I'm sorry. And then she also has a new blog where she does motherhood, money, mentorship, and something else. Anyways, but she is going to talk on the podcast about purity culture. And this is perfect for me because guess who grew up in purity culture? Me. So buckle the fuck up. And if you're wondering, oh my God, DC, why are you cussing if you grew up in purity culture? Because I don't know what I am anymore. But if you are an ethical Christian, you're totally welcome here. And if you don't like cussing, this is not the channel for you. But if you're okay with cussing, and you may have little floofs around your pets, and they're a little sensitive to the cursey words, put on some headphones if you're free range listening, because the cursey words will be flying tonight. Oh, what does poop tides have to do with purity culture? It is a niche to target. And also, Justin Prince, the prince of the multi-level marketing company, they are all in the pure space, pure food, pure bodies, pure aesthetics, pure pyramid. Pure pyramids? Oh my God. I am drinking in the gremlin space. Let me know my drink gremlins out there. I am drinking an energy drink and then I will move on to pink lemonade. I'm so glad that there's lots of people who've turned out delightful. Let me see how everyone's doing. Hero, Alexandra and Amanda and Angela. And hello, Shadow and Demi. It's a blanket with guinea piggies on it. Oh my god. Can you post a picture in the Discord? And if you already have, I love it. Also, I binge watched Age of Attraction. Oh my god. And if you haven't watched it yet, but you need a buffer to watch it, Mickey Atkins is watching it on her channel. Oh my god. My little blue curtain. I miss my treehouse so much. Elizabeth, Marie, Pixie, Hero. Sorry, I'm distracted. Now, we're probably going to take a slow sinkage into the purity video because I'm feeling a little bit of anxiety. So I'm going to preemptively take some of my anxiety medicine that I'm allowed to take because I'm in therapy and I have a management program for my mental health. I think. Please hold. I gotta get my other pill box. Ignore stream elements. I'm a little bit lopsided weight-wise with my little board that XCal made me. So we may end the stream because we're gonna preserve and promote our emotional well-being. And that's okay. We're gonna play it by ear, by soul, by emotional and physical well-being. If you need to like the stream because we're raging against cults and need to pop out, do what you gotta do. Oh, let's give away some memberships. Oh, Marie? Oh my god, Marie. It's 1,000,000% worth the watch. It might have been more fun because I was watching it with my sister-in-law and her friend, and we were needle pointing at the same time. But I was screaming at the TV. Well, we were all screaming at the TV going, "What are you doing?" And going, "What are you doing?" Let me show you the murder board real quick. Look at this beautiful murder board that Kat made. I made some of it too, but Kat mostly did it. And when I say murder board, like, that's generally what these are known. They're like whiteboards with information on it. So let's give away some memberships. If you do not have gifted memberships turned on, you need to do that. How to turn on gifted memberships. How to turn on gifted memberships on YouTube. Just to let y'all know before we start. And I don't know why there's... There we go. Want to receive gifted memberships on YouTube but not sure how to enable that? In this quick step-by-step guide... How late ago was this made?
I've had a few people in my live streams asking how to turn...
Perfect. Let's watch this. Let's watch this, guys. Oops. This is the wrong... That's the wrong one. Chat, 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 chat. Members only chat. We don't want lines. Chat. Screenshot. Super chats. Circle. Chat. There we go. There we go.
Turn on gifted memberships. So here's a quick guide. What does this setting do? When someone sends a gifted membership, turning this on gives you a chance to receive that membership and enjoy all the channel perks at no extra cost to you. Go to any creator's channel and find the join button. It's usually next to subscribe at the top of the page, but it can also appear in the members section on a creator's homepage if that's the way they've set out their channel. Click join, a small window with the channel perks will pop up. In the top right corner, tap the three dots and select gift membership settings. Toggle the switch to the right to turn it on. And that's it. From now on, whenever you're subscribed to a channel with gifting enabled, you're eligible to receive a gifted membership and enjoy those exclusive perks. If this quick guide helped you out, please give it a like and consider
We'll watch this one more time. If you don't have gifted memberships turned on, we're watching a video on how to.
I've had a few people in my live streams asking how to turn on gifted memberships, so here's a quick guide. What does this setting do? When someone sends a gifted membership, turning this on gives you a chance to receive that membership and enjoy all the channel perks at no extra cost to you. Go to any creator's channel and find the join button. It's usually next to subscribe at the top of the page, but it can also appear in the members section on a creator's homepage if that's the way they've set out their channel. Click join, a small window with the channel perks will pop up. In the top right corner, tap the three dots and select gift membership settings. Toggle the switch to the right to turn it on. And that's it. From now on, whenever you're subscribed to a channel with gifting enabled, you're eligible to receive a gifted membership and enjoy those exclusive perks. If this quick guide helped you out.
Okay. I'm going to go give 10 memberships to y'all. I hope we try to do this every month. I think I might have forgotten last month. It was unintentional. Go to my channel. Mute. Okay. Here is the first 10. Ah. All right. Shadow got a membership. Let's go. Amanda got a membership. Eddie got a membership. Stephanie McKay got a membership. And Loki Lurkin got a membership. Welcome to Illyria. We'll do the other 5 and then we'll do the Welcome to Illyria song and then we'll continue. Discord. Welcome to Illyria. Welcome, 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 welcome. Let's go. Teacher Reader, welcome. Kellyanne, welcome. Angel Mills, welcome. Susan, welcome. And Ninjester, welcome. Let's go. Welcome or welcome back. Here's the Discord link again. This is for members only. There should be how many memberships? There's Squirrel, Secret Squirrel Squad. I think summertime we're gonna do a special. We may drop squirrels down to $1.99. We'll see. I'm gonna try to do something different for y'all for the summertime. Okay. And I'm gonna turn off. I'm gonna try to turn off. We're gonna try to do something special for the summertime. Okay. Welcome back. I'm gonna try to do something special for summertime to make it more price. I know summertime's expensive for people with their kids and stuff, so I'm gonna try to like maybe drop membership prices or bring something back that's a little bit lower. So we'll see. We'll see. All right, let's do the welcome. Where is it? Welcome to Illyria. Bring back the sound.
Ratio Gold. Headmaster. So very pleased to meet you. So very, very pleased.
Hello, sir. Heard you wanted to see me.
I'd like to say welcome. Welcome to Illyria. Welcome, 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 welcome to Illyria. I just wanted to have you in to say welcome.
Welcome or welcome back. I'm very grateful for the memberships. It's what helps me. I don't know. It's my job. helps me do anti-MLM content and survive. So very grateful. Grateful for y'all's financial sacrifice and supporting the acorn, the squirrel trails, all the things. So bless you. Yeah, we'll try to do something good for the summertime. Okay? All right, let's go. Also, we are going to have captions on all videos going forward. And you can too on my videos, even when we do 4K now. So here's what you have to do. Open your videos on Chrome. Go to the 3 dots in the corner. And then you're going to type in live captions. It's going to download. And then you're going to be able to caption me. It's going to automatically do it and whatever the video. So I will be having little captions in the corner. So y'all will be able to see the captions from now on. So it'll be hopefully a good deal for y'all. I am definitely going to drop this. Oh, I forgot to tell you what Make Wellness is, who Ashton is, all the fuckery. Let's go to our murder board. Our schmurder board. XZ. All right. Make Wellness. Oh. I gotta do the lore. Sorry. I go on squirrel trails and sometimes it's not really like, I am not the chronological wizard of your dreams. If that's going to be irritating, like, I'm not the channel for you. Sorry about that. Erin's great. Savannah's great. Hannah Alonso's great. Like a million other anti-MLM creators. Like, if I haven't named them, they're incredible. If you like squirrel trails and like, oh, this string reminds me of this string, reminds me of this string, reminds me of this string. Like, and all of my lines of fishing lines are in the water and this ripple, like, hits this ripple of this fishing line. Welcome. Welcome to Illyria, okay? So, Justin Prince was the king or the prince of Modere, okay? He's what got Modere big. And then, all of a sudden, there was an earthquake. There was a disturbance in the force of MLM, and Justin Prince was supposed to get a $300 million commission check. And while he was on vacation, Modere was like, "You're out." And why was he out? Because there was gossip that he was going to open his own multi-level marketing company, and he said, "Y'all are crazy. I would never. I'm offended that y'all would even think that I was going to be opening my own multi-level marketing company." Well, whatever. 6-7 months later, Mr. Sir opens his own multi-level marketing company called Make Wellness, a peptide pyramid hell. My words, not his, okay? And that's just my opinion because this is a commentary channel and this is for consumer protection and education and just in general commentary. And I will do a happy birthday. Lady Mitersaw, let's go. Let's just do it. Let's just do a happy birthday real quick. Actually, let me star your birthday and then I'm going to star your birthday and someone yell at me when I'm done with this intro, and then we will do all of the birthday delightfulness. Lady Mitersaw, happy birthday. But I'm going to do kazoo birthday for you, okay? While I'm running my mouth, kazoo's in the chat for Lady Mitersaw. So, Justin Prince opens up Make Wellness, does the peptides. There's a mass exodus from Modere because Justin Prince was the face of Modere. Justin Prince eclipsed Modere marketing-wise. And once Justin Prince left, Modere started to sink. One of those companies that invests in businesses, that's like a bunch of investors coming together. I don't remember what it's called. I think it starts with a V. Y'all probably know. They came and tried to pull Modere, like, from the jaws of failure, but it wasn't successful because a bunch of people had left. The profits were going down, blah, blah, blah. On the day that commissions were supposed to go out, Friday, last year, 2025, Modere was like, peace out, no commissions for you, we're imploding, goodbye. So the the Nazgul Nine, John Melton, Tony Zalecki, all of them are like, oh my God, what's going on? And then, come to find out, they've been doing some type of peptide weight loss stuff for several years, Tony Zalecki's words, not mine, and saying that their like weight loss slash slim down was because of Modere, but apparently, from what I understand, from what I've heard on the internet, that wasn't the case. So fuckery was afoot there. They say, oh no, what's gonna happen? 2 days later, on a Zoom call that we get invited to, they say, ta-da, we're opening a new business. And guess what it's gonna be called? Nueva, the worst multi-level marketing name of all time, SEO-wise, any-wise, because Nueva means new in Spanish. They're the numpties of a lifetime. They're a free... I don't know if y'all know anything about the internet or search terms or anything, but I will just let you know when you type in, let's say you're typing it in English, pretend someone named a company New. NEW. Do you see the problem that I'm presenting here? Someone named their website www.new.com. No. So their company's name is Nueva, and we were in almost every single Zoom call. Anyways, that's beside the point. John Melton and Justin Prince are mortal enemies now, and the whole point of that was Justin Prince basically destroyed Modere because he was bigger than Modere's presence in the industry, and people lost their confidence in Modere because Justin Prince left. So Justin Prince has a company, Make Wellness. They did $100+ million in their first year. Wild. Okay? And so we were looking for content to do today, and we go on Facebook because Facebook is an algorithm of death of multi-level marketing fuckery. And we are watching oh my God, look at this new rep. I was imitating Justin Sarah, but he doesn't have this long of hair. But Justin Sarah was like, this rep's team just did $2 million. And it was Ashton, who is a new overlord of her team. And overlordess, I don't know, is an overlord like a generic term? Anyways, so the stream was a little bit boring. So of course, we went on Squirrel Trail. I added Cat to the murder board, and we realized that the Squirrel Trail was squirreling, and we found some really twisty shit. So we will be looking at Ashton more and more, because not only is she using her kids to recruit people into Make Wellness, but she's using her positioning as like wife / Christian to recruit into Make Wellness, and this purity bullshit. Now, I'm gonna do a little asterisk. This is not hashtag, like, whatever. A little asterisk. I think that you should be able to choose whatever you want to do. I'm going to be talking about this from my perspective and the damage that I experienced from doing this in my own life. And I hope that maybe it gives you another facet to think about if you're doing this with your own kids, because it wrecked my perspective and it was super like harmful to my brain, and how also like how I saw myself as a person. And it was super damaging. It was super damaging in my former marriage. Like it wasn't good. Okay? So I'm going to be talking about this from my experience. So I think I'm going to like be able to bring some stuff, but the rep is the perspective is high control group, make wellness rep, playing into the purity culture that seeps into multi-level marketing companies. And so the strings are a little bit skewed, but they're attached. Anyways, let's say happy birthday to Lady Mitersaw. I think Overlord can be gender neutral. Love it. All right. Happy birthday. Let's open up our sounds. Highs and lows in the chat, if you'd like to. I'll let you know my highs and lows in a minute. Sound, sorry about that. Sound effects. Oh my God. Happy birthday. Why are these not? Kazoo? Oh, remember. Let me just put the happy birthday in there real quick. Applications, no, audio. Kazoo. Audio. And then we've got Careless Whisper, Kazoo. Careless Whisper. We've got Chariots of Fire always gets us banned. Friends gets us banned. Indiana Jones, I don't think gets us banned. I don't think Jurassic Park gets us banned. Wedding March. Pink Panther, I don't think gets us banned. Birthday.
1, 2, 3.
No. There we go. Got it. Happy birthday! Happy birthday! I hope you had a lovely birthday. I hope that if you are celebrating the rest of the month, that you have a lovely rest of your birthday month. I feel much better after taking my medicine. Alexis! Hey, Roo! Low, I'm feeling drained today. Hi, I start vacation for 10 days next week. Let's go, Giggle Trig! Hi, I found out I can get a bunch of free movies online from my library. Oh no, a headache. Elizabeth started doing freelance work for a friend. Good. Dude, migraines. Ugh, grody. I say grody because I feel like they're awful. Okay, my high is I have successfully taken care of the dogs. Oh, I got my nails done. I got like, I know this is like very 2010. I got like a little, well, she kind of like cat eye, but normally I get more, but then I got like this little cat eye rainbow one. So that was my high. My low, well, my other high was I've successfully taken care of the dogs today. My third high is I ate 2 meals so far today. So hope my parents are proud of me. That's the only thing that's keeping me on track with that. And the dogs are a little bit anxious because they're off track with their people being gone. My low, anxiety. Not having my parents here is difficult. So I just have to remember that using more tools to manage a new routine is okay. And I'm not an MLM anymore, so I don't have to like suffer through stuff and like yeah, normally like it's more cat eye, but like I think I'm just gonna either have to go back and get like more magnety, but that's okay. That's okay. And then yeah, so 3 highs and 1 low. I'm trying to upgrade. And then something I want to work on is I don't know, maybe hygiene. So that's what I'm going to work on. Oh, wait, I missed something in chat. Sunshine. Yay! All right. I'm going to give you a 6-minute who not Alexis, a 6-minute who Ashton is, and then we will begin. Let me turn on captions, settings, live captions. You can turn live captions on for me as well. Just go to turn on, if you are in Chrome, turn on Chrome, open Chrome, go to the 3 dots, type in live captions, and you should be good to go. Then come back out and it'll pop up for you. I will turn on live captions for her video. Let's go to our Mordor board. Z. And then we will go to, which one was it? Is it Vimeo? Oh, we gotta read. Oh, where is it? There we go. This one. It says a 6-minute one, and it's wild.
Welcome to day.
Okay. I'm just gonna put the captions are in the lower left-hand corner in a black box of the screen where we are watching the video. So this is part of a public blog that Make Wellness has made to anybody looking into the Make Wellness opportunity. And this is for commentary, critique, and consumer protection because it seems to be that This is a Federal Trade Commission violation based off of what is written in Section 5 of the FTC Act. So maybe do better. Maybe do better, Make Wellness. My dog let me cut off all his nails today. Alexia, I love that for you. I had to trim Caspian's little hair between his paws because they were so fuzzy, he was slipping on the floor. He has his tufts of fur. It's almost like it's almost like its own creature. It's adorable, but okay, here we go.
One of boot camp. Now remember, every single day we're going to talk to you about two things: content and connection. So today, for content, I want to talk to you about, as you're creating your content, as you're showing up in stories, all of the things that we're going to teach you in this boot camp. I want to talk to you about who your ideal customer is and who your ideal teammate is and how to identify that. So first, let's talk about customers, because it's going to be your customers and also your teammates' personal orders that are going to help you get to Premier Affiliate. Now, let's talk about your ideal customer. When you're thinking about the customers that you want and the products that we have to offer and the problems that we solve, you want the kind of customer who can be on a $150 a month subscription, no problem. And so it helps to really
Did y'all just hear that? You want the kind of customer who can be on a $150 a month subscription, no problem. It's interesting. I don't think maybe Target talks about this, but does Target talk about this on a blog post that is available for everyone to see? Or does Target have products that people are looking to buy, like pizza, bananas, yogurt, formula, clothing, Starbucks, whatever, Band-Aids, deodorant, shampoo, conditioner, whatever, and they're saying, okay, we've kind of continued to narrow or grow what we have to offer based off of who we know shops at our store. And maybe they say we want people to spend this much at our store, but are they doing this? She wants people to be on a subscription. Does Target want people to be on a subscription? No. Hello? This video, I mean, Make Wellness is not that old. This is a recognition boot camp day 1. So this is not that old. This is from Christmas, I think. Because when I just went from the Zoom, whatever, when the live stream that happened on the 11th of this month, she still has that picture behind her and that lamp and that tree. So I think this is from Christmas. So like 6 months. So even worse, I guess. I don't know. But still. I feel like, but still, you know? It's $1,800 a year.
frame who exactly you're looking for. You're looking for people that get their hair done, people that get their nails done, people that are in the gym already, people that, take care of themselves. Or maybe you're looking for somebody who is like a new mom and is looking to lean down and really needs some help getting their health in order. You're looking for people that like to invest in themselves, people that go on vacation. So as you are looking on your social media and kind of writing down who those ideal customers would be as you see them on your news feed in Facebook, or as you see them in your Instagram or whatever social media platform that you're on, I want you to be thinking about who those ideal people would be. Now, secondly, let's
Don't find. You better be looking for people who get their nails done and get their hair done, and like look at people who are going to the gym or have a gym membership, and don't be looking at people who are like too ugly or struggling with their mental health, or I don't know, like who have some money to spend, or like don't be looking at those poor people. Dear God. Y'all, stay safe out there and don't post your shit on social media. Let me tell you, can you imagine someone just like, no, we can't imagine because this is what they do on multi-level marketing company. Someone's like, well, you look like you have highlights in your hair, writing you down. Oh, yep, you're going to the gym. You wear Fabletics. You're going in my burn book. Okay, just kidding. Not my burn book, but my like, I'm gonna cold message you. Okay, yep, you go to Starbucks. You're going in my book. Oh yeah, you have a, I don't know. You wear, what, you have on cloud shoes. You're going in my book. Oh, you do sourdough starters. You're going in my book. Oh, what? I don't even know. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. G-rated flip off, ma'am. Oh yeah. So we don't. I'm weakening in my old age. So like we don't name call, but numpty's okay. Chicken nugget is okay. Burnt chicken nugget is reserved for very bad behavior. G-rated flip-offs, okay, which is all of your fingers up at the same time. We only vote people onto the FU list for very, very, very bad behavior. Brian Underwood, on the list. Eric Worre, on the list. People who harm their children, on the list. Whatever his name is. The guy who kept Jessie Lee working when she had colon cancer, he's on the list. The lady who was using her 9-year-old to promote her make wellness business, Rachel, on the list. You see where I'm going here? Yeah. A soggy chicken nugget? Yes. Soggy chicken nugget? Also fine. Descriptive ways that a 5-year-old could describe a chicken nugget. You have special dispensation to use that. I know, and now I'm like, why do I get my nails done? I do like getting my nails done like once a month. And I don't know, like, one, it makes me not pick them. Because I just get the like, I don't get acrylic or anything. I just get gel. But like, now I feel self-conscious. I use part of my YouTube money to get my nails done. Ugh. Sensi Mom and Dad, His Lord and Ladyship of the Order of the Burnt Popcorn, they're on the list. Yes, and underneath the tier of the FU list is the Heinous Hall of Fame. Yes. The Heinous Hall of Fame is the you know how like in baseball there's the minor leagues and the major leagues? Heinous Hall of Fame FU list. Yes, I actually my dad and I almost we almost got crushed by the mattress, but because I am a single Pringle now, we moved the big bed into the guest room so when my siblings my siblings and their partners are here, they can have the big bed. And I am in a delightful little, not a delightful, a little cloud of a queen bed, and my little like 1960s like beat up quilts are here, but I have to I think I'm gonna get them like carefully cleaned and I'm gonna hang them up. And once they're like, so I got rid of that bed's in there. So I'm I miss my if y'all don't know, I have a little tree house that I made, but I have to get like I'm saving up to get a recliner. I'm a single Pringle and I feel sad about it. Boom, hero. Yeah, I've done my nails before. I do like, and maybe I'll get like, I like doing the cat eye. I wish like normally I like it when they do a lot of the magnet. And Nora, I'm like, can you do some more? Can you do some more? We're not going outside. No, no. You can go outside later. You've been outside all day. When I say she's been outside all day, it means that I've left the door open and she has water, a huge thing of water inside, and she can come in at her leisure. So, like, please take that just to give y'all some information. I've been here and she has. I do not leave dogs outside. You can't go outside right now. There's no hunting lizards. I'm streaming. Sorry, Mama. I know. It's sad. It's so sad. No, no. Yeah. So. My pup heard outside and she jumped up excited. All right, let's finish this video. It's 6 minutes and then we're gonna learn about purity culture. I feel excited because like I can actually like give y'all the tea if you don't know about it, but I know a lot of y'all know about purity culture, but it's okay.
Talk about who your ideal teammate would be. And I want to get a little more specific with you here. I want you to think about who do you enjoy working with? All of us are going to kind of have our different networks of people. I want you to think, who do you enjoy working with? Who would you enjoy working with? Who would you enjoy helping? And think about how much this business is helping you. So as you think of your ideal teammate, I want you to ask yourself, and I want you to grab a piece of paper and a pen right now. This is a boot camp, so this is going to be interactive. Grab a piece of paper and a pen. I want you to think, who would your ideal teammate be? Like, where do they work? What's their possible occupation?
What?
What are their hobbies? Do they like to play pickleball,
Sure.
or do they like to go to the gym, or is their hobby, knitting? What are their hobbies? Your ideal person. What are
Stay
their
away from
hobbies?
knitters.
Now I want you to ask yourself, what is their biggest frustration
David, yes.
in their life? And I want you to begin to think through this and write these things down. And here's why this is so important. Identifying your ideal customer and your ideal teammate is when you show up, that's who you're talking to. If you're new to sharing on social media, sometimes it can be
She's not necessarily like wrong about this. you need to know what you offer people if you're showing up on social media, like what your core values are, your 3 things that you're bringing to the table that you're offering people. And you need to know who your customer is that you're talking about. She's twisty. This is twisty as hell, though, because of what multi-level marketing is and the the cult breakdown aspect of what happens when you get into multi-level marketing. And she wants you update your 100-person outreach list with your ideal customers and teammates, then take action by engaging with 20 people. Like, comment, or ask a thoughtful question on their social media posts. After you finish, text your leader, day 1 of boot camp done. Also, like, comment, and ask a thoughtful question. That's so, like, I don't know, 2010? Give me a break, ma'am. Get out of here. Get out of here. Figure out what you're offering and show up that way without like trying to always manipulate people because you want something from them. Like, I do like the aspect of like bringing some type of education. Not that I'm great at it. I like if you need to know how to help content, like if you're the type of person that likes grabbing content for creators to help with the anti-MLM movement and you need to know how to whatever download videos or you can't screen record, like I like doing that part, or I like doing PowerPoint roasts, or I like doing the graphic design side, or I don't know, like I like doing that part. Or I mean, I really like the teaching aspect. Like when I was doing tennis full time and I got the opportunity to teach, and like teaching kids who like teaching neurodivergent kids or kids who were not like athletic, quote unquote, or who were easy to teach by other professionals, like that's my jam. Like breaking something down, continuing to do that until a kid was able to get it, and realizing like there's not necessarily a timetable, and like that's my favorite. I don't know how to necessarily do that for the anti-MLM space, but like figuring whatever that is out, whatever that is for you online, if you've got a business or in person, what things do you bring to the table? Like, let's say you have a lumber yard, and what's your specific niche that you're bringing? Is it your customer service? Is it the type of lumber or range of lumber, or the quality of your cuts, or the timeliness, or the stock, or whatever it is? Or is it the time you spend with customers, or is it, I don't know, your three core values, and that's what you hone in, and then you figure out what type of customer. Like, I understand what she's trying to say. I understand. It gets fucking twisty with how she's like, go, and I use this word, my word, not her word, go stalk people, and then try to get them into Make Wellness. Get out of here.
Intimidating. But friend, as you grab your phone and you're sharing in your stories or you're making a post, I want you to imagine this very specific person that we're talking about right now. As you show up on social media, it's going to help you to think that you're talking to this specific person, you're talking to this specific customer and what their pain points are. Now, remember, when you went through the original Make Champions launch system, you created something called your 100-person list. So we just talked about content, right? Identifying who's your ideal customer, who's your ideal teammate, who are we looking for, who are we talking to?
She already told us. She didn't give a shit. She only wanted someone. She only wanted someone who could do at least $150 a month. It doesn't matter. It only matters how much they can subscribe. How much money minimum they will subscribe every month. She didn't care. She didn't care. It doesn't matter in MLM. It just matters what you can do monthly.
Now let's talk about connection, and you're going to see your connection assignment for the day below this video. Remember, you made your 100-person list by looking for those specific types of customers you would want, by looking for those specific types of teammates that you want. And now after this conversation, maybe you want to swap some people out. Maybe you want to upgrade that list. Remember, as you are making your 100-person list, you're not just going into your Facebook, you're not just going into your Instagram and looking at who's in your news feed. On Facebook, you want to go into your actual friends list so you can see everybody that's on there and begin to write people's names down from there.
Again, we're doing the purity stuff, but I want y'all to know who the lady is in Make Wellness before we go to the purity stuff, because this lady is the $2 million overlord of one of the teams in Make Wellness. Like a huge team in Make Wellness. And the types of things that she's promoting are twisty as hell. She is the types of things that purity culture is built around are some of the things that seep into the type of control tactics that are used in multi-level marketing. It's not necessarily like, oh, if you're in purity culture, then you're going to be twisty in MLM. It's just the infrastructure of what happens. High control group infrastructure shows up in purity culture and in multi-level marketing and in high control religions and in, political groups and blah, blah, blah. So that's why we're watching her first. Here's the TLDR. And then we're going to go to purity culture shit.
Now remember, on a 100-person list, we're not about to go awkwardly approaching people. This is an attraction marketing strategy. And so you're going to comment, and ask a question on these people's social media every single day. If you do 20 a day, 5 days a week, you'll hit all 100 every single week. So make sure that you are identifying who your ideal customer would be. You're engaging with that person, liking, commenting, and asking a question, because then you're going to begin to show up in their newsfeed. As you engage with them,
act like a bot.
Your content begins to show up for them and they see it. Make sure that you're identifying who would your ideal teammate be. Again, write these people down on your 100-person list. Make sure that you're engaging with them, because friend, if the same 40 people see your content over and over and over again, we're not going to get where we want to go. Even if we give you the most incredible content, even if you're making the most incredible content, we have to get more eyes on it. And that is exactly how you do this. So today we learned about content, identifying our ideal customer, identifying our ideal teammate, and then make sure you follow the connection prompt below. See you on day 2.
Ew. Ew, ew, ew. Ew. Make Wellness, Nueva, a lot of these supplement companies are very focused on the image, the aesthetics, the whatever in terms of recruiting or recruiting the person. A trigger warning, purity culture. If you don't know what purity culture is, essentially, purity culture is saving yourself. I say saving yourself, not like making sure that you don't have sex or like any type of sexual activity before you are married. Like intercourse, oral, feeling each other up, um, kissing like intensely, I guess, like French kissing or whatever. Um, when I say like anything that you think is more, and some people don't even kiss before marriage. One of the books that you may have heard of is I Kiss Dating Goodbye. That is part of purity culture. And I will tell you my story as we watch this because I grew up in it and my parents did not. And my parents were not like, oh, you have to do this at all. I think it's just something we picked up in our church, if that makes sense. So, grab your crafts, grab your drink. If you need to hop out, always be comfortable to hop out. Feel free to like the stream on your way out as a way to like, I don't know, flip off the patriarchy. You know what I mean? And the purity culture and just in general the fuckery being afoot. So, we're at 46 likes. 50 would be cool too. No cults, just cooties. Also extreme modesty in dressing, also shaming in women for men's actions. Oh yes, we will talk about that because that definitely happens in my church. So we will definitely have a conversation about that because it's going to be it's going to be shitty. So I'm going to speed them up. And I'm going to give myself permission just out loud that if we need to bail on the stream, I'm going to bail. But I don't think I will. But I may need to. I also take like pauses. I process things out loud, but I also pause a lot when I'm stressed or I'm trying to think about something. So if you wonder if my stream's lagging, it's probably not. It's just me pausing. So I also may be stimming. That looks like me playing with my hair, or I might be like scratching my face. That's normal. I'm just trying to warn you, like that's just me trying to that's just me trying to self-soothe. I'm just trying to just trying to give you a heads up if you're new or if you're old. So yeah. Let us begin. Yes, and the author of I Kiss Dating Goodbye has since like apologized for the harm he caused and has asked for the book to be pulled from publication, and that's a super like a very interesting thing that happens because so many churches like put that book on a pedestal and wrecked so many people with that book. And can I just say this? If that book was life-changing for you and you're super healthy because of it and it didn't like damage you, you need to go potty? What do you do? What do you do? Do you need to go potty? Whenever I ask what do you do, if he needs to do something, he will sit, but he's not sitting. Coda doesn't need to go out. What? He doesn't want me to be talking right now. So, I don't want you to feel bad if you're a Christian. Your feelings are valid. I know how it feels to come into a chat where there's a range of faiths and also you hear the host giving their perspective and you may feel like your perspective or your faith isn't welcome. And I just want to like give an asterisk. This was my asterisk. Ethical individuals are welcome. Expressing your genuine experience is always welcome. And we're always, live chat and I are always learning to do our best to have genuine and meaningful conversations with people of different perspectives. And we ask if you're new to extend the same courtesy. And I also realize some people have had incredible experiences with, only being with one person and it not being traumatic and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I know there's a range of worldviews. My position is that in churches, there has been more harm done to women, more mental, psychological, physical harm done to women because of purity culture. And it's been enforced and encouraged by books like I Kiss Dating Goodbye, whatever, books like that. What I've experienced, for example, every year going to church camp and the girls being asked to bend over to make sure that you could not see down our shirt, that we were required to have shorts as long as our fingertips and that every single pair of shorts would be checked and that we would be required to wear single bathing suits, but the guys would be able to would not have to wear a shirt to go swimming. That oh, good. I'm glad, Chrissy. And that every single summer, all of the rules for the girls and the lack of rules for the boys reinforce the idea that if something ever happened, it would have been the fault of the dress or the clothing of the girl because of how our bodies were clothed or not clothed and the impact it would have made on the boys/men. That's what all of that that was the messaging that it continued to say to us in the youth group. Oh yeah, and your straps had to be at least 3 fingers wide, 4 fingers wide, 3 fingers wide, and they would check. Except the boys were allowed to go shirtless swimming. And we were told to change if our tank tops were too low. Like, anyways, so let's watch. Oh, that's loud. My bad. Why is it so loud?
Hey everyone, and welcome back to What We're Talking About. My name is Kaylee Gray, and I'm super excited to have my friend Ashton Beisel here with me. She is so much fun. We met recently, and I met you actually through online first, and then finally got to meet you in person probably like years later. But she is a health, life, and financial mentor. And so I am excited to talk about some relationship advice today. She's been married to her husband for 15 years, and they have 3 of the sweetest boys. Like literally, your boys are like goals. Like I'm like, I can't wait to be a mom someday because I'm like, you have all the amazing tips and tricks and snack hacks and just all the things. So I love it.
Oh, thank you so much. I like them too. I think I'll keep them.
But, well, that's good. Because I'm sure there's some days you're probably like,
No, exactly. Well, yeah,
Oh.
thanks for having me on.
Yes. So I'm excited today. We're going to talk about
Good
a
night, Allie.
different version of dating, which I know that was something that you and Devin did. And I kind of want you to share a little bit like what made you decide to do dating differently when you met Devin and why like it wasn't with other people, but why Devin was the one that you guys decided to do dating differently.
So when I really, I gave my life to the Lord at a young age. And of course, the enemy's all over that. He's like, no, what can we, throw at this?
When she is saying the enemy, she's talking about Satan. This is also from a Christian perspective. So if you are of a different religion, this would be a God versus Satan, dark versus light, either or type of foundational perspective. Okay, so when she says the enemy, she's talking about Satan.
Teenage girl, right? So made a lot of mistakes in high school, but my heart was always
Oh,
for God.
we
And
have an
even in
email.
high school, I like would not go to church with my mom because I knew if I stepped in the church building that God would get a hold of me because he just
We have proof. When she says she made a lot of mistakes in high school, as a Christian, earlier when we were on members only, I said, when she said that she made a lot of mistakes, I said that means she had sex before marriage. Okay? And Kat was like, I found an email. Of course, Kat found an email because Kat is our research wrangler. And that confirmed what I said about she had sex before marriage. That means nothing. If you feel some type of like shame about that in the chat, do not. She, from her positioning, now that she is embraced purity culture, that's what she means when she says she made mistakes or whatever. So we're going to read. We're going to go to our Schmurder board. And we're going to read the email. This email is from Ashton to the state of, I don't remember who it was to, but it was this is from Ashton. So this supports what I said because she talks about her high school experience and her high school decisions, and when she went from whatever, her lost phase. And when people say lost, they're talking about before Christ, before accepting Christ, and being found, which is after accepting Christ and becoming a Christian. Okay? I will try my best to new tab. Okay. Bobby and Cece Torres and their entire family have changed my life. Again, this is publicly available online. Bobby and Cece Torres and their entire family have changed my life. They have been there for me through the hardest and most transforming times of my life. I would most likely be dead or still on drugs if it was not for them and for all the sacrifices they make to serve God and help teens. I am a successful wife and mother with impeccable sales skills, thanks to the character I learned while in Hope for Teens and spending time with Bobby and Cece together and separately. God used this ministry to change my life. My parents got a divorce when I was 6 and both remarried by the time I was 8. I spent all of my time with my friends, playing basketball, and involved with my youth group. My parents have been taking me to church for as long as I can remember. I was the girl who piled all of her friends in her mom's Suburban and took them to church. And again, this specifically contradicts what she's saying on this podcast. So note that in your brain, file it away for later. I had several boyfriends by the time I was a freshman in high school and was already sexually active. I gave away my heart time and time again, always to find myself heartbroken. I didn't have self-confidence at all. I found my only happiness in basketball and my friends. Despite my bad choices in the boyfriend area of my life, I would have considered myself a normal teenager. I made A's and B's, was a part of the varsity basketball team at my high school, and went to church every Wednesday and Sunday. The summer before my senior year, my grandpa died. I have a very close family. I have a very close family, and this was a hard thing for us all. Also, to add to my grief, my boyfriend of 2 years and I had just broken up. Nevertheless, school started in August, and so did basketball off-season. On August 22nd, one of my friends, John, who was one of my first friends at this school, was killed in a car wreck. Not understanding why God would choose to let this happen, I got drunk the night before his funeral. I ended up nearly getting hit by a car and receiving a public intoxication ticket. Seeing as I was a varsity basketball player, this was not good. I was to be out 30% of the season, so in my clouded state of mind, I quit a sport that had been my life since I was 6 years old. My life began to change right before my eyes. New friends and a new me. I started to smoke weed every day after school to forget about my problem. On October 2nd, my friends... trigger warning. Sorry. Trigger warning. Unaliving. Sorry. Trigger warning. Trigger warning. Sorry. Trigger warning. We'll just take a little pause. Apologies. Trigger warning. Does this not sound very different than what she's saying on the podcast? And I wonder to myself, why are people telling me different stories? Jesse Lee used to do the same thing. Jesse Lee used to do the same damn thing. And I can still be really sorry that her family doesn't have her in her life anymore, and also go, Why can you not tell me a story that is consistent across the board? Ashton's doing the same thing. And I can be very sorry for her loss, for the loss of her friends. And also, like, this doesn't sound like what she's telling this podcast person. So, we're going to keep reading. Trigger warning. On October 2nd, my friend Jody killed herself. I was with her two nights before, so you can imagine my confusion, guilt, and sorrow. After this, I began to hate my life. I hated who I was and what I was doing and who I was becoming. By January of 2005, I was doing cocaine, trigger warning again, drugs. I will wave my hand when this is done, okay? January of 2005, I was doing cocaine, ecstasy, and smoking weed, dropping acid, and drinking on a regular basis. In March, I totaled my car going 70 miles per hour on a highway. This gave my whole family and myself a reality check. I slowed down a lot after this near-death experience. I began counseling and increased my dose of antidepressants. After graduation and prom, I began to get very depressed again. All of my friends had plans to go to college, and I had nothing. I wasted my senior year doing drugs. The disappointment in myself only led me to do drugs once again. I started smoking. Oh my God. I'm saying, oh my God, not because I don't think that I'm judging people who turn to drugs to handle life. This is a missed opportunity for me to do a trigger warning, so I apologize. I will wave when we're done. I started smoking crystal meth, lost 20 pounds in a month, and began dating a drug dealer. My mom, in desperation to get me away from my town, got me into Oklahoma State University, where my sister, Taylor, was going to college. I went to college at OSU in August and tried to start new, but the depression, guilt, resentment, and low self-esteem wouldn't leave. I would do drugs when I would go home to Texas on the weekends and stayed in close contact with my boyfriend. One weekend, I lost it. I screamed, crying the whole way back to college. Okay. And once I got there, I laid in bed for 2 days. My time was coming to an end. I saw no reason to live anymore. Trigger warning, unaliving. Suicide was in the near future, but God had a different plan for me. My mom came to Oklahoma, put me on a plane, and sent me to Hope for Teens in Arizona, where I found myself surrounded by the love of Jesus. The program I was in was a 30-day spiritual treatment program for people struggling with addictions. I arrived on November 10th, 2005, and Friday, November 18th, I let my guard down at a Spirit Life church. What? Friday night live service. I recommitted my life to Jesus. After that night, God began to renew and restore my whole being. He healed me from my depression, and for the first time in as long as I could remember, I was smiling. God took me in his arms and made me new. He gave me more peace, love, and joy in a month than I had found in years of searching for it in basketball, boys, friends, and drugs. I felt innocent again. God restored my relationship with both of my parents. After I completed the program, I chose to be a part of Elijah Generation. No. Oh my God. I chose to be a part of Elijah Generation, a Bible college that helped me to grow in character and learn the true meaning of being a leader. I then went to cosmetology school to become a hairstylist. Thanks to God's favor and the character I learned in this program, I have had the opportunity to work in the number one salon in Scottsdale. Wait, is that the salon that the lady works in? The one who got in trouble? Who doesn't do hair? Hair by Christy? I am also one of the pastors at Spirit Live Church and love to minister to women. After being single for 3 years, God faithfully gave me the man of my dreams. August 7th, 2008, Devin and I got married. We saved our first kiss until our wedding day, and God has blessed us so much. None of this would be possible without Bobby and Cece Torres and the amazing people they are. My eye is twitching right now. And let me say this. I'm going to Hair by Chrissy. Oh my God. The squirrel trail is squirreling right now. If this is Hair by Chrissy, like if she worked for Hair by Chrissy, I'm going to lose my mind. Let me do another asterisk, okay? If you saved your first kiss for marriage and you're totally stoked and happy about that, I love that for you. The idea, though, that you lose innocence and you lose like a piece of your soul or your heart if you have sex or you don't save your kiss before you are married, that is damaging to your mental health. It starts to like erode and break down your mental health. And so if you teach that to your kids, I would highly recommend going to a therapist. And if you decide like, no, I need to go to a Christian counselor, I would say if going to a Christian counselor is like you have to, I would go to a licensed clinician, and if they're a Christian, okay, but nothing was worse for me than thinking that the reason that I had big emotions was because I was a sinner, or that I was sinning, or that the my bipolar 2 issues that I have that went unmedicated for so long was because of pride, which was a sin. There is and I didn't get proper mental health treatment. Like my parents did the best they could with the information they had. I don't blame them. I'm telling you from my experience that working now for me, sorry, I'm trying to like move my stuff. Working with a licensed clinician, working with a psychologist and having a psychiatrist was a game changer, and it saved my life. It saved my life. So, anyways, just something to consider if you are in the neighborhood of purity culture. And I'm saying preserve and promote your emotional well-being. Preserve, promote, and protect your child's emotional and physical well-being. And I adamantly believe that purity culture does not preserve, promote, or protect anyone's emotional or physical or mental well-being. So, also, like, if you don't, like, if you're new here, some people on the internet, or like people with autism, don't tell, you know, people that they are autistic. I do, because I can, I guess, and it's encouraged some of y'all to go get diagnosed or go see if getting a therapist is helpful for you. I'm diagnosed with bipolar 2. I'm medicated. I'm on medication with my psychiatrist, and I have a psychologist that I see. Y'all are not my therapist. I have a therapist. I share some things that are helpful for me. That's not me trying to be your therapist. That's me sharing helpful things, and I try to encourage you, if you need to see a therapist, to like maybe take that step. And if you don't find a good first one, you know, try again. And sometimes it's really hard to try again. So and I will tell you, there is nothing worse than like a Christian counselor who's not a psychologist, who doesn't believe in the DSM-5 or hasn't been trained in the DSM-5, and they're getting all of their information from the Bible and relating everything going on in your life to black and white, sinning or not sinning. Like, it's just pure luck that I'm alive right now with that I had running around in my brain for 30 years. You know, that's just my perspective. Sorry, I'm like running my mouth. Nope.
Just was always chasing after me. And so when I really finally surrendered my life back over to the Lord after having it my way for a while, and that doesn't really go so well, right? So once I really said, okay, God, I want to surrender my life just fully back over to you, I realized that I wanted to do my next relationships differently, you know, and I didn't want to do the typical dating scene, because the typical dating scene has a progression that I had experienced in the past, that I didn't want to do that again, that I just knew that it wasn't really about truly getting to know each other and truly asking all the really hard questions and truly getting to know, like, uncovering every stone, because you're living the rest of your life with
got
this
a
person, right?
diagnosis.
And so that's when I really knew it wasn't going to be necessary. I didn't know who that.
Yeah, and it's like, organized religion can be really healthy for some people. And when you understand on the influence continuum what healthy and unhealthy influence can look like, you can discern if your organized group, your organized religion is healthy or not healthy. Again, if you're an ethical Christian, incredible. What's helpful for me, or what's been helpful, is saying, having an infrastructure, an electrical, like a healthy electrical panel to run my emotions or my brain firings or my thoughts through, that has been based on, like, as much as I can, as I learn healthy, trauma informed, science based, whatever, psychology, that I can say, like, I have knowledge now so that I don't fall into the appeal to fear or appeal to emotion or appeal to whatever that some of the twisty things that wrecked me from the Bible used to. So, and again, ethical Christians, welcome. Ethical people from other religions, welcome. Conversations that disagree with me, conversations that disagree with other people in the chat, welcome. All I ask is that conversation remains respectful. The things that we get passionate about are fuckery being afoot, and big emotions are allowed. Name calling is not allowed.
That person was going to be, but I just said, I'm going to do dating differently, where there's accountability involved, where there's people that know both of us very well that can say, hey, you know, when Ashton's under pressure, here's a struggle she has. And when Devin's under pressure, here's a struggle he has. Because in 15 years of marriage, you can imagine we've had lots of seasons of pressure.
Yeah. No, that's so good. So with dating differently, like I do feel like there is just like society, you do this step, you go to this step, you do this step. It's almost like what is expected of you. And I feel like the world kind of defines dating. Christians kind of can define dating a different way. But how did you guys do dating differently? It sounds like you had accountability partners, but what were some things that you did to date differently, I guess?
Yeah. So one of the first things that we did was we met with both of our like mentor and pastor at the time. So we met with that person to even say like, hey, do you think that we're both compatible? Because you might think someone's really attractive. You might, you know, enjoy their personality, but they might be like, actually, no, you know, because of.
So when she says they met with their pastor and asked if they were compatible, they were willing to say, if you don't think we're compatible, we will not date anymore. That's what she's saying right here. So it seems like Kaylee is super excited about her saying that. And that's one thing to say too. Hey, but if you're actually close with someone and you actually care about that, that's one thing. But it seems like maybe a psychologist would be helpful. It seems like maybe a therapist, like having relationship therapy or talking about it with someone who's trained would be helpful. That's her perspective. That's her choice. You get to have autonomy over yourself and your relationships. That's fine. There's some red flags for me.
Whatever reason, right? So we first brought those people into the picture, and then we set up some rules for ourselves. And so one of our rules, especially in the beginning, was that we didn't go anywhere without other people, right? Like if we were going to the movies or we were going to dinner, we just found other people, other couples, you know, even just one person. We didn't ride in the car alone, you know, and now looking.
We didn't ride in the car alone. Okay, let me explain. I don't know if y'all need me to explain this much. When they say they have accountability partners, the accountability partners are there to make sure that they don't have sex with each other, that they are not kissing, that they are not having that they're not touching each other, that they're not whatever, doing any heavy petting or whatever. The accountability partners are there to be y'all said that you are committed to being pure, and we are here to make sure that you are being emotionally and physically pure. So no sexting, no nothing. And you're supposed to be spiritually reading the Bible and stuff and praying together and whatever. I tell you this from my own personal experience. This is not me guessing. Oh. Mother trucker. I don't know if this is TMI. I grew up in this deal. I have dated 2 people. I only had sex with one person, which is the person which was my spouse, and we are getting a divorce. And I'm trying to figure out TMI. I highly regret purity culture. I highly regret everything that I picked up from church in that whole mindset. I highly regret how I see myself now based on what I learned in church. I would never wish that. If I had ever been lucky enough to have kids, if I had ever been lucky enough to have a daughter, I would never have wished what I had been exposed to at church in purity culture at all. I would never have wanted that. I would never have wished that on any kid, any preteen. I mean, that's from age 11 to 18. It is a mind fuck. I literally 100, and if you don't regret purity culture, like, I'm not saying that you have to agree with me to like be a super welcome part of this corner of the internet. I'm telling you, as a kid who is a part of it, if you have a kid, like, I regret it. I regret it. I wish I would have had better, like, sex education instead of everything in the world is dangerous. Every, like, interaction with the other, like, with the partner that you want to be with is dangerous. Because you're losing your innocence, because you could be giving a part of your heart away because blah 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 bullshit. I think it's all mentally I think it just chips and chips and chips away at, like, who you are as a person.
Looking back, I'm like, I don't know, were all those things extreme? I have no idea. I just know that it worked for us. And, you know, when you are falling in love with somebody, that feels extreme, right? Like it's very much an emotional thing and not so much a logical thing, right? And so if you put the parameters up immediately, then you're not going to put yourself into a situation where now it's turning into being all about something physical, where it's still turning into, you know, if you're not making out all the time, you're forced to like talk, right? So you're forced to communicate and ask hard questions. And so for sure we met with,
You need to know what's safe. Your kids need to know, like, can I just, like, tell you? Your kids need to know, like, what safe touch looks like. Your kids need to know, like, what a safe physical relationship looks like. What a healthy, safe physical, like, regardless of, I'm just letting you know, because if they have no experience with it, and again, if you're saying like, oh, well, I still believe in only like one whatever, if they have no idea, or if the other person has no idea what a safe, consensual, physical relationship is supposed to look like, it could be super dangerous for your kid. So figure it the fuck out. Because I would never want my experience to happen to any other kid or adult. I'm trying to not do TMI. Because I think purity culture is awful.
You know, one of our mentors, we both actually took personality tests as well, because a lot of times opposites attract, right?
And it's also, if you're in the Christian culture, a lot of times it's like the guy, you don't get to say like the guy's the head of the household, and you don't know exactly what you're allowed to consent, like what you're allowed to say no to. And if you've never had an intimate relationship with someone, and if you're neurodivergent, you don't know what that looks like. So you need to either like work with a therapist if you can't have that conversation as an adult with your child, because your child could be in a dangerous situation. I will be in situations and I don't know what to do because I've never experienced it before. I can solve technical problems with computers because I can like figure it out. I will get stuck talking to humans because I've never been in that situation before. And my therapist and she'll give me sentences to say so that I have something in a situation. That's why I have my little preserve and promote my emotional well-being when I'm feeling anxious, because it redirects and reminds me what I'm supposed to do. I'm just trying to remind you. I'm just trying to encourage the chat, like, just like have a conversation with your kid. That's all.
Right. But, you know, some things are really important to certain people. Like for me, it's really important to me to have fun. Like I love to laugh and I love to be spontaneous and I love to be fun. And Devin is him and I are different in certain ways, certainly like opposites in some areas, but that area specifically, and on our personality test, it's called like an interactive type personality. We both have that. And I just personally couldn't be married to someone that was like, oh my gosh, why are you being so goofy? Like, oh my, like just very serious. That would be a real struggle for me. So, and then just, yeah, setting up the accountability when we would go places together.
That's awesome. Now, I know there's one thing that you guys did differently, and you saved your first kiss to kissing each other at the altar. And so what inspired you to do that?
So we both had kissed other people before and done, you know, like I said, in high school, we both were doing things we should not have been doing. And I think, you know, for both of us, we just kind of said like, and this is even what I tell my son now, I'm like, listen, everything has a progression, right? So it starts with holding hands, and then you put your arm around each other, and then you're sitting so close that your thighs are touching, right? I'm like, you know, you got to leave room for the Holy Spirit in between both of you, right? Like that was always our joke before. And then, you know, it just, everything has a progression. And this was the joke that we always said is I'm like,
you have the ability to make decisions with purity culture. They make it seem like it's the slippery slope of you have no ability to say no or to make informed, intentional decisions. And learning how to navigate physical interactions is so learning how to navigate physical interactions in a safe way, in my opinion, is so important. And what do safe physical interactions look like is so important. Now, maybe it's still super important for your kid, for them to say, I still don't want to do anything before marriage. That's fine. At least have that conversation and show them or talk to them about what safe physical interactions look like and what different types of consent looks like, because there's a lot of different ways that safe informed consent can be offered or denied, and it's important to know, because if you've never been in a position, especially in Christian situations where there's kind of this overarching patriarchy where the guy is the head of the home as it's taught in Christianity, the guy is the covering, the guy is the guy is likened to, the guy loves a wife as Christ loved the church. Like, that's how it's compared. And so the guy is like, has the last say, is the authority. And so when you are in that kind of like more intimate setting, you're trained for all those years you're in church that you submit to the guy. So it twists, and your idea of what consent is twisty, in my opinion, because you don't just say, I have autonomy. What do I think in this situation? What consent can I offer or should I offer based off of preserving and promoting my emotional and physical well-being? You are then saying, well, the guy is the head of the household. Am I allowed to say no? Now, I know a lot of y'all in the chat are agnostic, atheists. I know we have like a ton of different people who believe a ton of different things. I'm trying to tell you from my perspective how it can be twisty. And it, in terms of like cult breakdowns, that's how like my tea bag in the water, like twisty stuff can happen based off of what you've learned in the past, and like trying to put things in boxes that you are familiar with, and how you can like get sucked further and further into high control groups. And high control groups can be as small as like, I think 3. So I don't know. It's just twisty.
I don't know anyone who kisses with their hands behind their back, right? Like,
Melissa!
you're not going to kiss like this. You're going to kiss like
Hi.
the way that people kiss, right? And so there's just no way when
Good
you're
to
like
see
falling
you.
in love with someone. It's just, hello, that's what God designed you to do. So it's like,
I'm
there
gonna
is be a
cry. It's good to
progression
see you.
to get to that point, right? And to enjoy all the things about marriage that God has designed. But we just knew like there's no way we can start kissing each other because we're in love, right? And it not turn into, you know, something that it shouldn't before marriage.
Yeah, no, I totally get that.
For
Were
sure,
there
Debs.
any like challenges or like obstacles
It's good to see
that
you.
came in the
I'm not gonna
way
cry.
of doing that? Because like sometimes when you do make those like boundaries and stuff like that, I feel like that's when I feel like
For
you
sure.
get attacked more.
It's really good to
Was
see
there
you.
anything like that came in the
I'm
way for
happy
you
to
guys?
see you.
Yeah. Well, first of all, even when we tell people
I
that
hope
to this
you've been
day,
okay.
they're like, think we're crazy. They're like, y'all did what? Like, you saved your first kiss to each other for your wedding day? And we're like, well, first of all, we're not saints. We saved our first kiss to each other, right? Like, but it was definitely challenging, right? But I think that the things that we set up, they set us up for success because we weren't like at someone's house alone, right? Like we weren't, you know, at the movies, whatever, any place that we just set it up right in advance to where we weren't putting ourselves in a place where that would even be a possibility. But I will say this is that we had been dating for probably like 6 months, and I tried to hold Devin's hand and he like didn't even, he's like, okay, like, you know, he didn't even want to hold my hand. And we laughed about it today. I'm like, why did you not want to hold my hand? He's like, He's like, honey, I'm a man. Like, it's just like, it's just not gonna work. And so I appreciate.
He didn't even want to hold her hand. It's their decision, right? It's their decision for their relationship. But again, the idea that you are just floating in space and via osmosis you are going to be on this slippery slope to sexual corruption is, it's fucking wild. And like, where are you gonna learn? Where are you gonna learn the idea about intentional decisions? And also that physical touch isn't corrupting, or where you're going to learn the idea that innocence isn't the golden goose of everything. Because when the email that we read, she's like, I felt innocent again. Because in purity culture, innocence is king, and they teach you every time you touch someone or you kiss someone or you whatever have sex with someone, you're giving pieces of your heart away. The girl is mostly the girl they talk about, that, and that part of your heart, because you're giving it away, belongs to your spouse. And so when you finally get to your spouse, they don't get all the heart they're supposed to because it's given away to other people.
Appreciated that so much about him for protecting our relationship and protecting the purity of it. Again, for keeping the main thing, right? You're trying to
Jessica,
see if this is a good kingdom partnership for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm. No, that's so good. And so I know you kind of talked about how people to this day,
Rough
like
stream,
they are
dude.
like shocked that that's what you guys did. What about like in the moment, like your family members or friends, like what was their reaction for you, like saying that you're not going to do it? Did you get teased, or, you know, I feel like sometimes like people will just like say things and you're just like, that's not needed.
Yeah, all of our close friends, I mean, they were all trying to do the same thing, you know, and that was one thing. Like, we had a really close knit group of friends that were all trying to head in the right direction. We had all made mistakes in relationships before. And so that's one piece of advice that I can give you is like, if you have, you know, a girlfriend who's in the same season of life with you, talk about like, here's the parameters that we want to have. And one of the couples that we would go out with together, they were doing the same thing. And so that did make it easier. But yes, my family is like, what? Like, I mean, of course they're glad. Like, no one's going to be like, you know what, you guys should just make out. It's fine. Like, no one's going to say that. But, you know, they definitely, it was different. And it's still to this day, when we tell people, they're like, they love it and they respect it, but it's not the norm. But I always say, and to this day, I was on a podcast earlier today, and I said, we never wanted to be normal. Like, my desire, even as a family and even for my children, is to be counterculture.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this idea of counterculture, it's like, again, this idea of counterculture, it is prevalent. How does this work out? You're going to intentionally be opposite, right, of whatever the culture's doing intentionally, but holding someone's hand is going to lead you on this slippery slide of sexual death, right? So how do you go from we can be intentional here, but all this other stuff is unintentionally going to like ruin our lives? I don't understand that. I really don't. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit my mic. I just don't. It's kind of, for me, it's kind of like technology. How are you going to learn how to navigate technology in a way that's safe and intelligent, and learn how to know where to find relevant information that's not misinformation or disinformation? Where are you going to learn how to do that? Maybe at school, but probably at home. And technology isn't going anywhere. So you're probably going to have to learn how to do that on your computer and on your cell phone. It's not just sticking your head in the sand and hoping to God that somebody comes and takes all the computers and telephones away. Sorry, telephones. Oh my God, I'm so old. The cell phones away. You're going to have to learn how to navigate it in a safe way, right? So I'm just asking, probably need to do the same thing with this. And it's not just, oh yeah, purity culture, don't do anything so you can present your quote unquote innocence to your partner. And that is like the best sacrifice you can lay at the feet of like your partner. Ew. Ew. So I'll tell you something. I'm not going to say I'm ashamed of this as I'm pissing people off in the views. I had a little ring that I wore. True Love Waits, sterling silver. And I wore it from whatever, age 12 to age 24 when I got married. And I had a custom ring made on Etsy for, I guess, my ex-spouse now, or process. And they melted my little ring down into the center of his ring. So the outside was like Damascus, well, faux Damascus steel. So like, and then the center was mine. And that was his ring for the wedding. And I'm thinking to myself, like, now that I look back, and it's a nice looking ring, but it's like, I don't, so what? I wish more that I had better information about healthy, consensual, safe interactions between partners and what informed consent looks like outside of a patriarchal understanding of Christian theology. That's what I rather would have done. That's what I wish I would have done. That's what I wish I would have done, truly. We decided to not include purity culture stuff in our wedding ceremony. Then my father-in-law got up and toasted our virginity at the reception. Ugh. My dad's pastor told him to give me that ring, and I'm glad he didn't care enough. Yeah. Yeah. And again, if y'all did that, great. I hope you don't feel any kind of way. I hope you feel the freedom to share if you want to share, and that if you didn't, like, I hope you don't feel uncomfortable that you didn't. I know this is probably gonna make some people, or my parents, I don't know if it's gonna make my parents feel some kind of way. I'm disappointed. I don't know if I'm disappointed necessarily. I wish I had seen more people argue in a healthy way growing up. I wish I had seen more people. I wish I had, like, just not been a part of purity culture. So, I really, like, despise it. I'm gonna move my thing again. I'm going to see my endo doctor again on Monday, so I may be having another surgery this summer. So I'm discouraged about that, but that's why I'm in my bed. The irony about purity culture is that everyone ends up fixating on sex anyways.
And so I am so grateful that God put us in the right place to where even as we were dating, that he started us out
Oops. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
as a counterculture family and making counterculture decisions. Because I can tell you, marriage is hard, right? I mean, there's going to be hard seasons, even if you do all the perfect things in dating. You have kids, you go through just so many different seasons. Marriage has challenges that you could never imagine. And, you know, number one, us being on the same page spiritually, that is what
Pyramid
always has
scheme.
brought us back to home base. And that's really how we started it out. So, you know, there were other things in my life at the time that I chose not to do that, you know, people are like, just, I was changing so much, you know, just like about drinking and, you know, going out and just all of those things, you know, that I guess my family was kind of getting used to it at that point. They're like, there goes Ashton again with another radical idea. I'm like, yep, it tends to always work out. So whatever.
No, that's so good. It makes me think back when I was like talking to a guy and I talked about my boundaries, like these were the boundaries and things that I had and stuff. And he would flat out tell me, he's like, you have too many rules. He goes, and then I like another time he like brought it up again and he goes, can you just write all of these down for me so that I know? And I just was like, in that moment, I was like, I knew this like wasn't going to work out because he had talked like, oh, like, hey, this is like what I want. These are the boundaries to set in place. And then once it started happening, he was like not wanting to go along with it.
Dude. He asked for you to write them down because there was probably a lot. So, like, why didn't you just write them down? Do I not understand? Like, I'm taking this literally. Was he being sarcastic or, like, why wouldn't you just write them down if there's so many? But also, if the person doesn't respect you, fine. Then don't be with them. Got it. Cool.
So was there ever any pushback between you and Devin with setting boundaries, or were you guys pretty much on the same page?
We were on the same page other than me trying to hold his hand and he wouldn't hold my hand. I was like, what? Like, I mean, we had been dating for a while now, but no, I mean, we honestly were on the same page. And, you know, too, here's what I'll say about us is, you know, we went to the same church, we had, you know, the same mentor. And so we were kind of being brought up, you know, in the same environment. And so that did really help. And bringing accountability in immediately where it's like, hey, like meaning not like another set of friends, but like people that.
So when they talk about accountability, they're talking about a man and a woman who are married, who have a quote unquote really strong and good marriage. The woman is the accountability for Ashton and the man is the accountability for Devin. They make sure that Ashton and Devin are not having sex together. And they make sure that they're spiritually doing their Bible study and praying and stuff together, that their mind is remaining pure, that they're not sexting and doing that stuff, and that they're progressing in their walk. And then they kind of give the okay when they feel like they're ready to get married. At least the blessing of doing the okay stuff is what happens in a lot of churches where I live. It may have been different in Scottsdale, but it doesn't sound like it would have been different.
That were older and wiser and had been married and that knew us both. Doing that immediately kind of just set the foundation of like, he's never going to be like, I don't like that rule because we said it together, you know, right initially. Yeah. But our situation was unique because we were already friends, right? We weren't just like, we've been friends for years before we started dating. And so, you know, I think that's a little unique as opposed to someone that you just meet. But I think that you still could apply those same things of like, this is what I tell my boys. The whole purpose of dating is to find who you're going to marry. If you're not ready to look for who you're going to marry, then you really have no business dating anybody.
Nope.
Right? Like that's
what are you talking about? I don't know. Maybe y'all disagree with me. What do y'all think the point of dating is? I don't know. I thought the point of dating, I mean, when I was in purity culture, my whole thought was when you're dating, you're looking for, or like the courting, the getting, or like when you are committed in a committed relationship, that you are intensely believing that the or focused on the idea that the person you're with is a strong candidate for marrying. So,
Purpose to you're not just dating for fun, because if you are, you're going to end up in a bad place. Dating should be done with an intention, right? And if you're not ready
yes.
financially, if you're not ready emotionally, then you just need to focus on Jesus and grow. And then once
Yeah, like, but again, it's all spiritual. Like, in Christianity, Jesus was fully God, quote unquote, and fully man, quote unquote, right? So, would it not make sense if you're focusing on the spiritual stuff that you would also learn how to moderate and have self control and whatever over your physical stuff? You could be interacting and whatever with the partner, that the partner's sex or whatever. Obviously, they don't want to have sex before marriage, but you would be fine, or you would learn to be fine, or you'd learn how to navigate what it looks like interacting with those awful, dangerous, whatever, I'm guessing girls, based off of what she believes in, who I guess can make you trip up just by wearing a shirt, a t-shirt, that if they end up bending over, he could possibly see down, or shirts that may or may not come to the fingertips, or whatever, blah, blah, blah. If you didn't watch the first part of the stream, when we went to church camp, we had to make sure that all of our tank tops were at least 3 fingers wide, and we would be asked to bend over in our t-shirts to make sure that nobody could see down our shirts to see our bras. That when we wore shorts, we were told to hold our hands down to make sure the shorts were longer than our fingertips. And the boys were never required to to put on shirts to go swimming, except we were required to wear one-piece bathing suits. And the hypocrisy of that was wild, but also the message that drove home was the responsibility of everything bad happening to a girl was our fault, in my opinion. That guys were so easily manipulated, or easily like able to be felled by the female body, that the adults had to come in and make sure that we were clothed and covered up appropriately, instead of saying to the guys, learn some damn self-control. What do I know?
once you're ready, the whole point is to do it with an intention, right? And so you don't need to be doing all that
Melissa,
other stuff, because you should be
rage.
asking the hard questions, right?
No, that's so good. Now, did you guys, like, with your mentor, did you come up with like just like boundaries you wanted to set in your relationship, or was it a time that you two got together and talked like, hey, these are the things maybe I struggled with in the past, and this is like a boundary that I want to put up, or this is like, how did you do that? Like, if somebody was like wanting to set boundaries in their relationship, what would you think is like a good step for them to be able to do?
Yeah, I think, obviously Devin and I both had made a lot of decisions in the past that we did not want to repeat. And so we had what some people would probably consider a lot of boundaries, right? But again, we knew each other for a long time before we started dating. So we already had, a lot of feelings for one another once we finally started dating. So our situation was unique there. But I think, you come to the table with what's important to you, and they come to the table with what's important to them. Like for me, I'm not a man. I'm like, why can't you just hold my hand? It's fine. But for him, he's like a man, right? So he's like, you're holding my hand, and now I want to, make out with you.
Oh, I like
it's
that,
just,
Michaela.
Yeah, it's normal. It's the way that God designed us to be. And so the boundaries are just simply meant to protect. It's like any boundaries that God gives us, right? It's like, why God's not a God of rules. He's a God of, hey, here's the boundaries that I know because I designed you.
For
that's
sure,
healthy
Debs.
for you to live in. And when you go outside of those, you're actually not happy, right? Like you think you're going to be, but you're actually not happy because I didn't design you to live outside these boundaries. And so you just have to use your
Ashton.
discernment. You have to know what's best for you. For us, we really didn't go anywhere alone, but maybe for someone else, they're like, hey, I feel like I could go to a restaurant or a public place with somebody, but maybe we don't go back to their house, right? Like things are very different. I mean, this was 15 years ago, right? Things are different now. I was trying to think back the other day. I'm like, did we even text? Was texting like a thing? I guess we did, but it wasn't as prominent as it is now. So he would call me,
Good night,
on the phone.
Marie.
So I think
Good
you
to
just have
see
to use
you.
wisdom and what makes sense for you.
No, that's good. And I think every person is so different of like, there's the main.
Did she what? Did she fake feelings? Did she fake feelings, or am I too ace to understand how one forces feelings after dating? Can you ask like the question a little bit differently? I think I'm too. Sometimes I'm like too literal to understand. Maybe I need to go back a little bit. Let me go back like 30 seconds.
You to live outside these boundaries. And so you just have to use your discernment. You have to know what's best for you. For us, we really didn't go anywhere alone, but maybe for someone else, they're like, hey, I feel like I could go to a restaurant or a pub.
So Ashton's like 2 years older than me. So she's 39. She might be 40 now. 39. And Kaylee, I think, is the same age as Ashton. She might be younger though. Kaylee, I'm not sure, is in Make Wellness, but she might be. She might be like a high potential of joining Ashton. And if you're just joining us, Ashton just got to her team just did $2 million in Make Wellness. We went on a huge squirrel trail this afternoon.
Public place with somebody, but maybe we don't go back to their house, right? Like things are very different. I mean, this was 15 years ago, right? Things are different now. I was trying to think back the other day. I'm like, did we? Oh,
she got it. She was friends with him for a while. And then she started getting feelings for him, and then they started dating. So she was friends with him. But let me just say this. She doesn't appear to be very truthful to me, because when she's been telling this story about how she wasn't going to set foot in the church because she knew that God was going to grab her heart as soon as she did step foot in the church, the letter that she sent to support Cece and let's look at our murder board. Bobby and Cece Torres was wildly different than what she told Kaylee in this podcast. So I don't know if she's embellishing her stories on purpose or if she's just can't remember. But I'm questioning lots of things.
We even text. Was texting like a thing? I guess we did, but it wasn't as prominent as it is now. So he would call me, on the phone. So I think you just have to use wisdom and what makes sense for you.
No, that's good. And I think every person is so different of like, there's
Ooh,
the
that,
main
Melissa.
boundaries. And I think the analogy my dad always like tells me with dating is like a guardrail, like on a road. God has that guardrail up for us and stuff. And like when you go over the guardrail, like, sometimes it's a ditch or it's something else and you could get hurt. And so then the guardrail isn't always pretty, and it's.
Or we learn how to drive the car so we don't crash into a guardrail. Oh my God. Turn on your headlights. Learn how to drive your car. If it's a stick shift, you learn how to drive a stick shift. If you are not good at night driving, then we don't drive at night, or we get glasses. We learn how to use our turn signal. We learn how to navigate with other cars. Dear God, like we're missing the messaging of the car story.
You definitely don't want to crash into it, but it's there to protect you. And I think so many times we do think of like, oh, we have all these rules and have to do that. And especially for me in past, dating relationships, when a guy is like talking about how I have too many rules. I'm like, these are biblical, like not rules, but this is just what I'm reading in the Bible. This is what I feel like is going to prepare me for that next season. And so I was like, well, if that's not going to work for you, then I don't think we're going to work out. And so I think sometimes you do have to make that stand. It's hard. He could be an absolutely amazing person, but you don't want to compromise on the boundaries that you have. And I think that's great that you and Devin were on the same page, because that's not always what goes on in relationships. You know, I feel like sometimes it's like one person or the other trying to pull. And so that's when, you know, it is like, I feel like a God ordained relationship is when you both are on the same page, going the same direction with the same values. That was something somebody had told me recently was, you know, attraction changes, just like all these different things in life will change, but their values are going to stay the same. And so choose somebody based on their values, and because, you know, their heart just things, and they'll grow together. And so I think that's so important, just to finding somebody with similar values.
We need a break. We're going to do early wedding kazoos for you. Early wedding kazoos. Let's go. Where's our wedding kazoos? Happy early wedding anniversary! Happy anniversary to everybody in the chat. We had our 14th wedding anniversary this week. May Wedding Club. Oh, cute. Cute, guys. You know what the wild thing is? And the difference, I hope this is the difference. Just because, like, I'm, you know, single Pringle now, I have, like, and maybe it's my autism, maybe it's the autism. In my file folder in my brain, I'm 1,000% excited and stoked to, like, have wedding kazoo moments for people celebrating their anniversaries and have a completely different situation going on. Or, like, when Erin gets, like, big, huge milestones, like hitting, like she's working on hitting 20K, and I'm still working on my stuff, like, I don't feel any kind of way, like, oh my gosh, I'm not even hitting 10K. Like, I don't feel bad at all. Or, like, when I was still going to Bible study and stuff, we had some people who ended up getting pregnant, and they're like, we need to go to a Bible study that only has parents and children in it. And I was like, okay. Because, like, I don't care. Just because, like, we couldn't have kids doesn't mean, like, I wanted other people to leave who could have kids. Like, it didn't make me feel any kind of way to be in a group with, like, different places in life or different life experiences, you know? Our 19th was last month? Oh no. Melissa, 19? Jessica, I love it. I'm the same way, DC. My bad things in no way dampen my enthusiasm for everyone else's great things. Exactly. That's such a good, like, condensed way to say it. That's what I was trying to communicate. Yes, happy times for everyone. Yes. Christianity is a tough crowd for sure. Oh my God. I went to church with my parents to like try to bless my mom for Mother's Day. And it was like super triggering because they were talking about how, like, well, all you mothers out there, incredible. But they were doing this, like, the way they were interpreting stuff in the Bible about moms, I was just like, okay. It was just, I was like, this was a mistake to come, but my mom was so happy. I was like, I just want to, I just want to rage stream right now, but I can't. Uh, and then I was like, this is an unhealthy thing you're teaching about, but I didn't say it. I was so like frowning from my seat, and I was like, what's going on? So, it's okay. It's okay. Ugh.
As yourself. I wanted to interrupt today's episode and talk to you about liquid collagen. Now, I've been taking liquid collagen for the last 3 years, and when I first started taking it, I had no idea the benefits and everything
What's
from liquid
this?
collagen. Now, this is what has helped me, but not limited to. My hair has actually started growing. My hairstylist cannot believe it. My skin has become clear. It has helped with my gut health. My nails are growing stronger and longer. And so I have just been so blessed and thankful for the results that I have been getting from liquid collagen.
Modere.
So that's why I want to share it with you. I have a $10 off code for new
Oh, this is
customers,
from 2
and
years
I
ago.
would love for you to click the link below so that you can learn.
This is when they were both in Modere, so this was 2 years ago. Wow. Okie dokie. Okie dokie, artichoke.
More about the liquid collagen that I take. And the best thing about it, it's super easy to add into your routine. I take 2 tablespoons. So it's your wedding day. Like, do you feel like that impacted your relationship in any other ways? Like waiting, was there, like, how were you feeling on your wedding day leading up to that moment? Were you nervous, excited?
Well, we got pregnant within our first month of getting married. So there you go. Like, it was worth the wait for sure.
I love that. Oh my gosh,
yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah. It was so funny because Devin's sister, it's so like when you're watching someone do this, it's like almost unbelievable that they're saving their first kiss. So she was literally doing the math, like down to the day of when Isaac's due date was. I'm like, we waited. What are you talking about? But yeah, yep. No, Isaac was conceived within a few weeks for sure. And you know, I have thought back about this. To be honest, I don't talk about this that often. And so I was glad when you asked me because, and I am next month, I'm doing a little retreat for a bunch of young high school girls and, you know, get to share this story as well. And I don't think about it as much anymore, but I think about some of the blessings and standards that we brought into our marriage. Like, we don't go out to lunch, like even if it's a coworker, we don't go out to lunch with anybody of the opposite sex. We don't text individually with people of the opposite sex unless it's been like a very long-term relationship and the other person is comfortable with it. But in general, if I'm, you know, messaging someone else's spouse, I always include them. Like, those are things that have never even been a real conversation because it's like we set this up initially even between ourselves and it's like trickled that blessing into this season. And, you know, even with my kids, you know, and going into the years where, you know, other people are doing certain things. And I honestly just see an anointing on their lives as young men to stand for purity. And it's like something that matters to them. And I can't take credit for that. Like, all I can say is that I do believe God blessed us, you know, for our decision. And we certainly aren't perfect by any stretch of the means, but, you know, we did what we could do to plant seeds of purity early on, but then
Plant seeds of purity early on. What is that? I know what it means. I'm just, when I'm listening to it now, I'm just like, what about people who are not Christian? And it's no shade if you're an ethical Christian. It's no, like, it's not saying, I'm not trying to disassemble someone's belief in God. I'm just asking, what about the ethical individuals who are not part of organized religion or who believe in God and are not part of an organized religious group or are a part of another group who have never cheated on one another, who are in a committed, healthy relationship? What does this conversation what does this conversation's truthfulness or storyline or whatever it is, kind of a 2+2 formula able to do for them, other than come over to Christianity so you too can have the favor and blessing of the Lord. How does it explain? Or can someone explain what's going on?
Also create a marriage that's full of love and full of passion where, you know, as a woman, you want to be pursued the rest of your life, right? Like that's just the way that God designed us to be, right? And I just see so many blessings in our relationship. And one of the things that I'll say is that Devin and I are truly best friends.
Yes, Melissa.
Like we are, because we were friends first, right? And we worked so hard to develop that friendship. When you're not kissing and you're not holding hands and you're not focused on the next physical step, you're focused on the next emotional connection, right? And talking about like, what do you believe about spanking, right? Is it important for you for your kids to go to a Christian school, right? I mean, you might end up getting married to someone and you're like, oh, I just always assumed my kids would go to private school. And then your spouse is like, yeah, no, that's $3,000 a month. We're not doing that, right? And then you're like, what? And you're devastated. Or, you know, how you're going to handle discipline with your children. You know, those are really important things that can create major marriage pain points. And I think because we chose to do things the way that we did, it created a friendship first for us, and then we get to enjoy all the other fun things, you know, about marriage too.
I would also, if y'all are going to have these conversations, I would also encourage you, I mean, if you're going to have these, whatever, you do you. How do you feel about infertility? In Christianity, they always say, like, in sickness and in health, or whatever the marriage vows are. It's emotional for me right now because, like, I'm getting a divorce. But it's like, they say at the altar, like, I got married in 2013. They say, like, in sickness and in health. And so when you're having these tough conversations, or when you're going to have tough conversations, or when you're talking to your kids about, like, hey, when you're talking with someone you're thinking it's going to be a long-term partner, ask them, what are your thoughts about struggling with infertility? What are your thoughts about one of us suddenly losing mobility or struggling with chronic pain and it impacts our ability to work? What are your thoughts about mental health and supporting mental health? What are your thoughts about therapy? What are your thoughts about going to therapy together? Like, it's not just spanking and all this other stuff that are focused around having children, because that's a lot of these conversations that Ashton's talking about. And I had those conversations too. But life, like, is different sometimes for people. I'm sorry I'm crying. Like, purity culture, like, gutted me. And all I'm trying to recommend to you is that if you've got kids, just, like, have a different conversation with them, or take them to a therapist who's a licensed clinician and not a Christian, or who isn't just a Christian counselor, and have open conversations with them about it. And if they don't want to go to a Christian counselor, then don't make them go to one. It's just, like, emotional to watch because, like, it's just painful to watch.
love that. And I love too that you kind of held yourself to a higher standard. Like nobody was telling you that you had to do this, but this was something you had the desire to do. I know for me, like I wasn't allowed to date till I was 16. That was like something my parents made me do. I had to read a couple books, and then I had to write out characteristics that I looked for in a spouse. And then my dad also gave me a purity ring on my 15th birthday. And so there was just like little special things that like my parents like did for me, but a lot of my friends, like they didn't have the same rules or, you know, just upbringing. And at first, like I think back, like when I was younger, I felt like such an outcast. And, you know, I remember being teased in high school because I would always wear my purity ring, and everyone would be like, oh, like, are you dating God? Like, what is this? Like a puberty ring? Like what is it? And I was like, no, it's like, you know, I'm saving myself for my husband. And so I just remember being teased all the time. And I think back to, I'm like, you know what? Like, I am so thankful for that, because there was just so much that went on with like friends, and they were having their hearts broken, and just like, you know, teen pregnancies, just like all of the things happening. And I just was thankful, like that wasn't the life that I had. And so I was thankful that God protected me and spared me from all of that and from having heartbreak. And so even though I was kind of like bummed as a child that, you know, I had to wait, I look back and I was like, I'm just so thankful of just what my parents did for me, because I know it probably wasn't easy, but just the honor and purity that I'll be able to take into my marriage. I'm very thankful to have that. Okay. Oh, go ahead.
No, just that that's a huge blessing for sure.
Yes. Okay. Let's wrap up. Like, if you could encourage anybody who's maybe had a past or hasn't done dating well in the past, like what is something that you would tell them to encourage them?
Yeah. Well, first of all, same, right? So there's hope, because I did not do all those things in high school like you did. Although I did get a purity ring, and my mom did all the things and went to every church camp, and just incredible, you know, by plugging me into the right places for whatever reason. And I just think for some people, it can be more of a struggle, right? Maybe you just are a little more
Melissa.
attacked in this area, but I know I was attacked in this area because the attacks on your life are directly connected to the calling on your life. Right? God knew I was going to have 3 boys. He knew I was going to help set a new standard for the next generation of men. Right. And, you know, I think in myself, and my encouragement to you was that I had to take a season of no boys, no boys, not thinking about boys, not texting boys, like very minimal, you know, social media, where I was working on me and me becoming the most healed, healthy, whole, successful version that I could become of myself, and really deciding what mattered to me in life. Because I think as women, you can start, you know, dating someone, or you fall in love with somebody, and then you want to form yourself to the image that you think they want, right? Like they like basketball. I like basketball. They like, you know, whatever. They like their eggs, you know, sunny side up. So do I, like whatever it is, right? You have to decide for you who you are and what you're called to do. And, you know, to your point, really one of the biggest points of marriage is to find a kingdom partner, right? Like someone that you have a dual calling with, that you can make an impact with. And, you know, the last thing that I can say, besides taking a break and really focusing on you and God, is trusting God. And I remember people saying this to me when I was single, and it sounded so easy. I'm like, easy for you to say, lady who's been married for 15 years, finds this great guy. Like, are there any men like this out there anymore? I truly, truly know how you feel listening to this, because I have all my journals, and I had actually tried, Devin and I both, we dated someone before each other, where the other person agreed to hold these same standards, and neither of them wanted to. And so we both broke up with them, and then finally ended up dating each other. So I understand. I really do. But God is a really big God. Devin was 27 when we got married. You know, he's 7 years older than me. So he was praying for me for a long time before I came along. So whether you're a male, whether you're a female, God has that right person for you. And here's the deal. Even within marriage, like newsflash, peek behind the curtain here, even within marriage, Devin's not going to fulfill like who I am as a person, right? Like the great part was that I was whole, he was whole, and we get to come together and bring an impact for God's kingdom, and we get to enjoy each other, right? Like marriage should be the cherry on top of the cake, right? Like, but you come as a whole person with your calling, with your gifts, with your strengths, with your anointing. That's going to attract the right person to you. And you don't need to worry about what you did in the past, because guess what? I married a man who had a past too, right? And it makes us who we are. And it's also really great because my kids can't get away with anything. So there's that too.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, that is so good. Thank you so much, Ashton. I think this episode is truly going to encourage, because I know there are so many people that have made a mistake in the past in dating, and they're like, well, do I deserve to have a godly relationship in the future. And so I think this is just so encouraging, and it also has some practical steps. I mean, some people might not go to the extreme of waiting to the altar to kiss their husband. I think that's so admirable. I don't know. I am like, could I do that? I don't know, maybe, but it's definitely like something that's not off the table. And so I think it just like, it helps people think about like, okay, like if Ashton and Devin can do it, like maybe I can do it too. And so just thank you so much for just coming on
Either
here
or
and just
fallacy.
encouraging everybody. I've just loved this conversation.
You bet. Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yes. And be sure to subscribe. I post every other Tuesday, and I will also have mine and Ashton's social media handles below so that you can stay connected with us. And so I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Okay. Apologies for weeping like a willow. So Ashton on the right is the one who's the Make Wellness independent contractor. She's the one who just got promoted. She just was recognized for doing $2 million, her and her team. She's the very top person on this delightful little curvy triangle that I've drawn with my fingers on the screen. She's at the top. She's at the top of this triangular prism scheme, in my opinion. And she may have gotten some people to order because they're customers. Her team may have helped her get to 2 million because that's a really big goal. And she may have people may be inventory loading. I know when my leaders were trying to get to big, huge goals, we made financial sacrifices so they could get to their goals. But maybe nobody in Make Wellness does that. So her ideas, next paragraph. Ashton brings her ideas, her extreme ideas about purity culture into her team dynamics. You can't help but do that when you believe in something that strongly. I personally am really grateful for it, but dear baby Jesus, that was a lot of pressure for teenagers to follow through with it. Yeah, I guess like maybe I'm deconstructing in a grumpy way. And maybe I'll change my mind. I haven't changed my mind in like 3 years or whatever. And maybe I'm just angry for the deconstructing conversation. Either I wish that I had more information about what safe intimate interactions look like, or I wish that I had more actual interactions with people in that type of setting so that I knew what healthy interactions were supposed to look like, and I could have realized that. And I can't live in the past, and I can't live in I should have done something different, but there's still regret there. And so my thesis is, what's my thesis? What is my thesis? Purity culture is an insidious, high control mindset that has infiltrated religious groups everywhere. And it's harmful because it reinforces the idea that anything sexually violent that happens to women is their fault, in my opinion, because they're hyper focused on what girls wear because of how it impacts men or guys, whatever. It hyper focuses on sex in a way that sex is dangerous and evil, and it contaminates you, and it steals from you instead of sex being neutral. If it is safe, sane, and consensual. And I think that that purity culture is something that falls in the destructive influence category for all the reasons we talk about destructive influence. And I'm going to put the deal on screen. So, and I know I have to move up one of the arrows, but for the organization, the purity culture, there's elitism, we see that. There's authoritarianism, we see that. It's manipulative, we see that. It tries to clone people, we see that. The ends justify the means, we see that. They try to preserve their own power and there's no legitimate reason to leave. I think I can rest in the idea that purity culture is fuckery. Maybe that's my thesis. Purity culture is fuckery. Yep, exactly. Joshua Harris has recanted. Yep. I am willing and able to change my mind when presented with new information. I know I sound like a robot when I say those things. It's my Bill of Rights. It's just what helps me remember who I am when I'm stressed out. Oh my god. It helps me remember who I am and what my core values are when I'm stressed out or when I'm emotional. Sheila Ray Gregoire. Okay. Let me take a screenshot. All right, got a screenshot. Let me look at my murder board. My murder board. Look at our murder board. We're doing a video. Well, eventually. We're going to do one of her trainings. So, we got all these reels or shorts, and then we have her inappropriate posts about her kids, and then we've got her social medias, and we've got her YouTube, and we've got her make wellness trainings, and we've got her podcast with Justin Prince. So we'll be doing her we'll be looking at her more. So, anyways, Mordor. Our Mordor board. Sorry, I'm sniffing. Whoops. Take me to Mordor. That was So, thank you for joining me. Make sure to regulate yourself if you need to. On your way out, please like the stream. Please subscribe if you like squirrel trails, anti-MLM, kind of anti-cult talk and identification of fuckery and trying to, like, I don't know, blast it on the internet. And I hope to see you around, Replay Crew. Much non-culty love to you. And I will preserve and promote the healthy things. Don't forget your meds. Grab a snack, grab a drink, and I will see you next time. Remember, we don't drink the Kool-Aid, we analyze the ingredients. Toodles.